known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.
Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. As you can see, no gel in the hair. I'm a hurting man, Steve. I'm a hurting man. I don't think I have the vid, but I'm in rough shape. How you doing?
Doing okay, Prez. I actually wore my local gym T-shirt for Ironbound Gym here because I thought it was Flex Tuesday, but had I known you were a little under the weather, I would have dressed it. Oh, there
I can still flex.
That a boy. That's what I wanted.
Yeah. Frustrated night last night. Went 2-1 for my clients, but lost the Edmonton Oilers and really, really needed to sweep in hockey last night. Man, I tell you, I've been telling Teddy all playoffs, Colorado is unbelievable, and I went and bet Edmonton, but it was the right spot. They were up 3-1 and 4-2 at one point. So it happens. How are you doing? How did your night go?
I've actually passed last night. A rare pass for me. The one baseball play I kind of liked, I gave out free here on the show. And that cash with the Red Sox. And we can kind of transition that into what did we learn. I don't think we necessarily learned anything. But what I learned is, once again, Prez, don't catch that falling knife, right? Angels have now lost 12 straight games. And as I mentioned in the big game breakdown, it's because they're ice cold offensively. Red Sox scored 1 run. And they won 1-0. So, these ice cold teams, normally in baseball, I think it's something good to talk about. Normally in baseball, odds makers still focus on the starting pitchers. I get that. The starting lines are based on them. Syndergaard was going last night. The Angels are actually a slight favorite despite 11 straight losses. But something I continue to think gets underpriced in the lines is offensive momentum. And it's not a fluke. When teams struggle, when they lose 12 straight now, almost all the time, it's because they're not hitting the ball. And you've got 8 or 9 guys that, for the most part, play consistently together every day. They go through ups and downs. And when the timing is right, or in this case, wrong, teams can get pretty cold pretty fast. Keep in mind, the Angels are winning this division just a month ago. So I do think they'll turn things around. But whether it's investing in the financial markets or the sports betting markets, you don't want to try to catch that falling knife. Let's wait to see the bottom. The Mets, they lost a couple to the Dodgers on the East Coast to West Coast swing last week, and then they won both Saturday and Sunday. I was watching some of that Padre game last night. Looks like their offense is picking back up. But it's a good textbook example, again, of why you don't try to catch that falling knife. Red Sox only put up 1 run, and they still beat the Angels, who have now lost 12 straight.
Yeah, and great call, Steve. And I'll tell you, man, Joe Madden must be pulling his hair out. Mike Trout. Yeah. Ohtani. I mean, this team is supposed to be loaded with talent, and they can't get out of their own way. Guys, it's Wager Talk Today. Steve Merrill, Lawrence Presman. We got Tony Mejia up first. He's looking at the NBA tonight and the Tigers and Pirates. Tokyo Brandon looking at the Braves and A's and a KBO game. And, of course, Dave Sharapan ends the show. Steve, let's bring Tony M in right now. And Tony, it's been a while. Love having you on this show. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you, Prez? How are you, Steve? I see Steve more often than you, but good to see you both.
Yeah. It's $2 Tuesday over at WagerTalk.com. You're the $2 Tuesday handicapper in baseball. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, we got a 5% play, so go ahead and get that. It's the best bet of the whole evening. I had a really nice run last week. I think it was 12-1 at one point. Then I had a cold day, a hot weekend, and a really cold day, mostly related to the Padres last night and the fact Blake Snell really struggled in that first inning. Had some correlated things with him on outs that he would get and strikeouts, and he lasted 4 innings because he had, I think, a 30-plus pitch first inning, walked in a run, then gave up a 2-out hit. So, those things happen. It's baseball. But really feel strongly about today's $2 Tuesday game, and then just been keeping up with the NBA Finals, obviously, on a game-by-game basis, a little USFL, a little international soccer. So been a busy, busy week.
Steve? You have anything to discuss with Tony before we get into the games?
I love seeing Tony Mejia. And sometimes we get on NBA Tip-Off, we get the Tony special, which is Tony Finn and Tony Mejia. WagerTalk Today, we'll get the Tony special because we have Tony Finn tomorrow breaking down Game 3. But Tony Mejia, you get to break it down first here on Tuesday, a day in advance. And once in baseball, 1:45 Eastern today. No NBA Tip-Off today. We'll be back tomorrow on Wednesday at 4:15 Eastern. But let's look at NBA Finals Game 3, Tony Mejia. We talked about this on Friday for Game 2, you and I on the show. Obviously, the Celtics came out strong. Looked like maybe they were going to get that 2-0 lead, and then that third quarter hit. Just let me know your thoughts here going into Game 3, how you'd approach this one. Now it's back in Boston. One thing I mentioned yesterday, Tony, I thought was interesting is that theoretically the Celtics now have home court. It's a best of 5. The series adjusted price is pick 'em, though, even though Boston theoretically has home court advantage, and they're a 3.5-point favorite in Game 3. So what are you looking at in this one?
I mean, the adjustment has been made as far as the series goes. The Celtics were plus 130 to open things, and now they're right there with the Warriors as a pick 'em. What we've seen is Boston did what they wanted to do in San Francisco, but lacked killer instinct because I thought they played young. And we'll have a Wednesday NBA tip-off show tomorrow. But myself, Rob Bino, and Andy Lang joined Joe Raineri for the NBA tip-off show on Monday and broke down Wednesday's game and what we expected and what we saw over the weekend. So it was a wild game, but my prevailing theme on it was that Draymond Green got in everybody's heads, and you saw experience show in a manner that it didn't show in Game 1, where the Celtics were able to bounce back and turn a 12-point deficit into a 12-point win with a big fourth quarter. So wanted to see some more killer instinct out of Boston, and we did not see that on Sunday night.
Tony, how would you approach this one? I mean, are you looking for the Celtics to bounce back? Or do you still think they're the better team? Let me ask you this. Who do you think is going to win this series? Let me give you that open-ended question. You can run with it.
Well, I picked Boston to win the series when it opened in 7, and nothing I've seen has taken me off that. However, it was interesting to see the Warriors utilize their heart of a champion, whether you want to call it their experience edge, to make the far larger Boston Celtics feel them in that second half on Sunday night. I didn't know that they had that in them. And guys like Kevon Looney and Draymond Green have to play big. We saw Gary Payton II make his debut in the series and have a huge role in being a pest in the backcourt. So now we'll see. I mean, it's been zigzag so far. We'll see if Boston responds on Wednesday night. I do have a 5% play out on that. A lot of people partook in $9 Monday and already have that information, but it remains out there as a 5% play for tomorrow. Total-wise, we've seen an adjustment. It went from 215, I believe 214 in Game 1, 215.5 in Game 2 after the overhit in the series opener rather easily. And then it was nowhere near the 215.5 on Sunday night. So now we've got it back down to 212.5, and a lot of money and action I've seen on the under, despite the fact that the number hasn't moved.
Tony Mejia, everybody. You can find Tony at WagerTalk.com, another world-class handicapper exclusive to our business. Tony, Pittsburgh Pirates, they're playing Detroit tonight. A total of 7. Detroit on the road at minus 125. How do you bet this game?
We bet the under, and we hope that we get this in because this is the game that is most likely to be rained out. But if we can get in the first 5 innings, we'll see if you get in the full 9. But this is a pitching matchup between lefties Jose Quintana and Tarek Skubal. The number is where it is for a reason, and I want nothing to do with either bullpen. So this is a first 5 play for me. But I really like the 3.5, and maybe we'll see a 4. Before the night gets here. Jose Quintana, after a really rocky last few seasons, has been excellent with the Pirates this season. Hopefully he gets out of there because they're not going anywhere, and he might be trade fodder. But he's been really good. Hasn't given up a homer since April 28th. That's over 30 innings of work. He's given up 2 or fewer runs in all but one of his 10 starts, and he's not washed up despite being 33. And Skubal is the Tigers' ace. He's been fantastic this season. He'll represent them at the All-Star game and opened up June with 7 innings of 2-hit ball against the Twins. So he's rolling. Both of these offenses struggle against left-handers, so this definitely looks like an under to me, weather permitting.
Yeah,
Steve?
Tony, it's funny you mentioned weather because yesterday both our handicapping guests, Jimmy Adams and Brian Leonard, as Prez will remember, talked about the D-backs Reds game, and they both gave the caveat that if this game gets played or whatnot, and obviously it got played but didn't get finished. And I know that we had some talk with the WagerTalk office. You probably saw the threads last night where that went, I guess, 6. Reds actually batted in the bottom of the 7th, but they didn't complete the 7th, so those 2 runs didn't count. So it reverts back to the 6th. Didn't really matter, though, because the 5-inning bets were already in, and the full game has to go 5. So anybody had a money line bet last night on Cincinnati actually got the full game win and the first 5 win. Totals and run lines, of course, not. My point that I'm getting at, I wanted to ask you this, is how do you handicap a game like this where you think there might be rain? Do you do anything different? Do you play a first 5 instead? Do you think it affects pitchers or hitters more if there's a long delay? I mean, how do you look at games where you know there's weather on the horizon?
So long as they're cool with the grip, I think bad weather favors pitchers. I mean, we see April games are typically under. That certainly was the case this season. And then you're conditioned right now, if you're the Pirates, to be playing these low-scoring games. They just come off victories over the Diamondbacks by scores of 2-1 and 3-0. So I think they'll be comfortable with that, especially if Quintana can keep them in this against Skubal, who's really tough to hit. I mean, at this point, he's looking like a guy that is having a special season, and the Tigers aren't going to get much here. They're last in all of Major League Baseball in home runs against left-handed pitching. So unless they string together some hits, which I don't see coming, they're not going to score much. It's up to the Pirates to try to get off to a slight start, and that's going to be tough to do against Skubal. So I could see this being a 1-0 game entering the 6th.
Tony Mejia, everyone. Tony is the $2 Tuesday handicapper at WagerTalk. He's got a 5% MLB bet. About 90% of his sales pitch has been bolded. So that pretty much says it all, Tony. I mean, you didn't bold he is, season, and only. Other than those 4 words, the entire paragraph is bolded. Do you know that too much bold negates the bold?
That helps draw the eye, and if you're drawing the eye and you can't really see from up close, that helps you. So I'm a man of the people. I'm just trying to help.
Just buy the play so you can see how much he bolded in the analysis. I can only imagine the analysis.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's a lot of bold. It worked, though, because you're giving him more promotion. It's working, Prez.
Level bold.
Proud
Tony
of you, Tony
Finn, the boldest man around. Grab his 5% baseball play. It's only $2 at WagerTalk.com. Tony, anything else before we let you go?
I hope you feel better. And for a lean on the Boston Celtics, Golden State Warriors Game 3, I think Marcus Smart responds. He was a no-show in Game 2, 2 points and 5 assists on 1 of 6 shooting. And he's got something to prove because the Celtics technically started their run and made the most of his absence. And he's the defensive player of the year. He's a driving force on the team. Really hasn't shown up in the series. I expect him to do so in Boston. Over 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And that'll be a small client play for me. Win or lose, I think that he will show up in this series for the first time. He kind of hit a couple of dagger threes in Game 1, but really hasn't been himself. So I expect him to be himself in Game 3.
Nice. Tony Mejia, everyone. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. Steve Merrill's coming back with his big game breakdown. We've got Brandon Siefkin, Tokyo Brandon, to talk, and of course, Dave Sharapan. Stay with us. We'll be right back in 20 seconds.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
It's It's time for a little big game breakdown for Tuesday, June the 7th, WagerTalk.com, WagerTalk TV, WagerTalk Today. I am Steve Merrill, filling in for Teddy Covers. We're going to look at another baseball play here for Tuesday night. You know, last night I gave you a theme on a very small card, and it was play against the coldest team in the league, and that was the LA Angels, who lost their 12th straight game. We cashed with the Red Sox, pretty much even money price. Going to take another theme here that usually works pretty well in baseball. This time it's play against the worst team the entire season in both leagues, and that's the Kansas City Royals, who have been just terrible this year. You know, the Reds started 3-19. They lost 20 out of 21 games at one point, the Cincinnati Reds, that is, and they still don't have the worst record in baseball about a third of the way through. That's because the Kansas City Royals have beat them to it, 17-36 on the season, and Kansas City is a team that just cannot string wins together. They had a nice 6-0 win against the Astros on Saturday. That was not the buy sign. They have since been outscored 15-4 on Sunday and Monday, including an 8-0 shutout loss in their first game of 3 against Toronto last night on Monday, and I see nothing changing this evening. Now, obviously, this is priced into the line. I'm not going to encourage you to play minus 230 with the Blue Jays, although I do think they win this game, but I would take it down to the run line, minus 1.5, minus 140. Cut that juice almost in half, and Toronto is definitely a team that can win by margin, so I had no problem laying the run and a half. It's something we've seen a lot. I've talked a lot about in the videos for the last couple of years and in the shows. The Dodgers, you either play them minus 1.5 to win by 2 or more, you play the other team outright. I think Toronto, the Yankees have done well in that role this year for the most part. I think Toronto's another team that'll do well in that role going forward, as they're going to win by margin. And let's look at their recent wins. You look at their last 12 games, they've won 10 of their last 12. Last night they won by 8, they won by 9. Before that, the 2 on each side, they lost outright. Before that, they won by 5, 4, 1, 1, 1, 3, and 7. So they have had some one-run wins recently, but those were more competitive games, first of all, against the White Sox and also the Angels when they were playing a little bit better. I think Toronto rolls in this one. I have no problem laying the 230, but I think the smarter long-term play is minus 1.5, minus 140 on the run line. And the Blue Jays are a very capable offensive team. That's something else I'd like to look for when laying the run and a half. Toronto has put up 6 runs or more now in 3 straight games, and they've put up 6 runs or more now in 6 of their last 7 games. Royals, the worst team in baseball. This one's pretty simple. Toronto Blue Jays roll tonight. That's your big game breakdown, 8 o'clock Eastern Tuesday. And don't forget, NBA Finals goes tomorrow on Game 3 on Wednesday night. I have a 5% best bet in that game locked and loaded nice and early for you right now at WagerTalk.com. Also, strong baseball best bet tonight. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Tell your friends and neighbors. Back to you, Prez.
What do you tell my friends and neighbors? Look at you.
Give me a heads up.
Some wit. Yeah, I love the Jays tonight too, Steve. Minus 1.5. I was on them last night. It was a big chalk, but it was just a great spot to bet them. I think it ended up being around minus 160. They won 8-0. Tonight again, I mean, I think you could go to alternate lines too. I mean, I see no issue with minus 4.5. I think we're going to see a blowout. I think KC's going to struggle to score.
I like where you're going with that. Something I mentioned when I did a video the other week with the Dodgers, how they keep winning and covering the run lines like we talk a lot about. They'd only had, I think, 4 wins out of their first 51 games, only 4 times they win by 1. But most of the wins weren't by 2. Most of them were like half were by 3 or more. And you're always getting plus money, like you're saying, on that minus 2.5, minus 3.5. What you can do is if you're playing a unit, play half a unit minus 1.5, half a unit minus 2.5, or a third of a unit at pick'em, minus 230, third of a unit minus 1.5, 2.5. I think that's the best way to do it.
I love that idea, Steve. Guys, let's bring in Tokyo Brandon. How are you, my friend? What's going on?
Doing all right. What a trooper you are, doing your show while you're sick, Prez.
And I don't know. I mean, Steve, you got to be able to feel my energy. Like, my energy is down, right?
Yeah, I've got congestion just being on the air with you. You got to stop breathing on me, man, because now I'm getting it.
Hey, Steve, I would tell my neighbors. Steve, I would tell my neighbors about your play, but they don't speak English, so I don't know if they'll use your plays or not.
Wait a minute.
Do most people in Japan speak English nowadays, Brandon?
Rudimentary.
Really? Yeah, I would have thought it was a little more so being such a business hub. Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
But
no,
not
Brandon, why don't you speak Japanese?
I do, actually. You want me to?
Yeah, do the first game in Japanese. No.
That's fantastic. No, do the Japanese baseball. No. Do the Japanese baseball game in Japanese. That's the one we got to do in Japanese.
It's Korean, though. I don't know Korean.
Oh, it's Korean? There we go.
So you speak fluent Japanese?
I certainly do.
What do you think? He's lived there for like 10 years. How is this a surprise?
10
I got to pull
years?
my titty moment now.
I've lived in Canada for like 40-something years. I still don't speak English.
I've lived here for 29 years. So
29. Oh my goodness. Even I would speak Japanese at that point.
Yeah, I think you would.
So, Steve,
even by
listen to this. Ready? Ich ni san shi go ruku shishi ashi guju.
I'll take one of each of those. That sounds delicious.
Prez no Nihongo wa totemo subarashii desu ne.
Oh, shut up, dude! I'm a black belt in judo. I had to
scream leave this those conversation right now. I'm just leaving this conversation right now.
It was like ich, knee. Anyway, let's go, dude. Braves and A's tonight.
Yeah,
Braves and A's minus 250 for Atlanta. A total of 9. How do we bet this?
Yes. So I'm glad that you were talking about alternative lines, because the way I put this play out was an alternative line. And, there's no other way to go but the Braves here. I mean, Kyle Wright hasn't faced the A's yet, so he's got an advantage there. But Irvin going for the A's tonight, I mean, he's going against the Braves. His ERA is 6.43 that he allows to Braves batters. The Braves have the number 1 bullpen, and the Braves are hitting number 4 against left-handed pitching. So I don't see any other way to go. When I put this play out to my clients, this was minus 210. It's dropped to 230 now. But what you can do is an alternative line, which is a -1 alt line, which is what I like to do. If your book doesn't offer a -1, what a -1 is if they win by 1, it's a push, rather than if you give the -1.5, it's a loss. So what you can do if your book doesn't offer a -1 is you can put half your bet on the run line -1.5 and half your bet on the money line, which is the same thing as a -1. So I am approaching this as, my numbers just love the Braves in this one. So I'm taking the Braves -1.
Yeah, Brandon, I love that strategy. And it's something Dave Koken mentioned a couple years ago when I started doing the MLB shows with him here, and you probably have heard him mention it as well. You can make your own -1 line, and kind of Prez and I were talking the same thing. You make your own -2 line with the Blue Jays tonight. Take half on -1.5, half on -2.5 if you can get that. Although those books probably offer -2 if they offer -2.5. Braves, here come the Braves, right? Never in doubt. Last year they were below 500 in August. They win the whole thing. Let's not forget the year before, or 2 years before that, the Washington Nationals, same division, NL East. 19-31, they win the whole thing. It does look like the Braves are a play-on team right now. Do you feel that way going forward? Is that something you're taking into your handicap over the next few weeks?
It is something I'm taking into my handicap. As a matter of fact, one of the categories I use is how they're doing in the last 30 days, as well as how they're doing against left-handed pitching, right-handed pitching, etc. And the Braves are ranked 10 in Major League Baseball in the last 30 days as far as their offense is concerned, where the A's are ranked 26th. So I do use that in factoring. I think starting pitching is one of the main factors as well, but I do take that into consideration. And despite losing their most key players in the offseason, I still think they're a play-on team coming forward.
Tokyo Brandon, everyone. And Brandon, you won your 5% play last night. Congratulations, man. You are on.
Thank you, sir.
Your 5% plays are ridiculous. Tell us about last night and what else is going on for you.
Yeah, so I did win last night, and I didn't know this, but Johnny brought this to my attention that I'm the number 1 5% play capper lifetime at WagerTalk. Although I'm a new guy here. I've only been here. This is my third year here. But I've won 73% of my 5% plays in that span. So it's pretty good. When I put a 5% out, I feel pretty good about it. And I don't put them out as often as some other cappers might. But when I do, they usually come through. So that was good. Last night came through in Japanese baseball. And I should have another one pretty soon.
There you go. Tokyo, before we get into the next, your Korean baseball, some Johnny Detroit guy is dropping the black belt again. Dude was 12 and breaking IKEA quality wood and taking on 11-year-old girls. I think if you showed up for at least 5 classes, you got a black belt. Johnny.
He's filling the role of Teddy.
Like Kramer.
He's taking the Teddy role serious today. He's like,
you're like Kramer and Seinfeld beating up all the little kids.
Oh, Brandon, you beat me to the punch. You beat me to the punch, no pun intended, because I've been catching the old Seinfelds the last few weeks on Comedy Central. They've been randomly tuning in more and more to them. They've been running the office a lot. History. Yeah, and it's so funny because that's the first thing I thought of was Prez, like Kramer with the 12-year-olds, just tossing them and throwing them. Oh, that's one of the best ever.
And then 30 of them corner him in the alley and beat him up.
Hey, Prez, you'll like this one. The one that was on this weekend is when Kramer had a bad cough, so he buys a dog, and the dog has the cough, and he goes to the vet to get the dog medicine for him. The Smuckers, that was a great one, too. And that transition.
Yeah, I look at Seinfeld, guys, but I wasn't a Seinfeld fanatic by any stretch. I mean, I was all about Happy Days.
Happy Days is great, too, but Seinfeld is pretty funny.
Happy Days is not great. If you watch Happy Days now, you sit there and you're like, I like this garbage. I
still like it.
Johnny Detroit, there's no breaking wood in judo. Come on, man. If you're going to insult me, at least know the sport. Anyway. Yeah.
Or Kramer calls it karate.
I didn't do karate or kung fu or any of that stuff. It was judo. We got to get moving. Brandon, the LG Twins versus the Kia Tigers. Look, I think LG is one of the biggest companies in the entire world. They stand for life's good. They account for about 80% of every television set made on the planet.
And computer monitor.
Yeah. So they're winning today, right?
That's a good handicap.
That's a great way to handicap, Chris. I like that.
Likes your uniforms.
So LG is going against Kia, who makes a lot of cars as well. So the main crux of my handicap in this one is the fact that Adam Plutko is going for LG today, and he's started 2 times against Kia. And in 12 innings, he has 0 earned runs, 11 strikeouts, and 2 walks. So he pretty much owns Kia. Kia does have a really good lineup, but they're throwing out Ronnie Williams as a starter, and Williams has a 1.61 whip, which is terrible. And LG's lineup is just as good as Kia's in the last 7 days. So I'm all over LG. You are correct, Prez. I'm all over LG on the money line. You can get it for -130, which I think is a decent price. This game was actually supposed to be played yesterday. It was rained out, but they're throwing the same starters out and doing it today. So that's my play, is LG -135 on the money line.
Tokyo Brandon, everyone, dude, you got a promo or anything to give out before we have to bring Dave Sharapan on? And I say we have to because it's in the contract.
I felt the same thing as you said that.
I'm going to be putting out more of my $9 plays out today. I haven't done my handicaps yet for Japanese and KBO, but I will be putting them out today. And I do have a play in the Dodgers game today as well. And you can get that at my WagerTalk page. And I love Dave's Padres gear there. I can see it. Anyways, thanks, guys. I'll be back on later.
There you go, Tokyo Brandon, everyone. If you are not playing his KBO, I don't even understand why you
don't
are
like
breathing.
Money. You don't like
it's like you breathe, you eat, you play Brandon's KBO. Those are the 3 things that are... And I don't even know if it goes in that order. Maybe you play the KBO even before you breathe and eat.
Well, you can eat better once you play the KBO. You can eat better food.
Dave, I got a question for you.
Yes, sure.
So the 3 of us are roughly around the same age. I was born in 1969. You, Dave?
70.
Steve?
82.
Yeah, shut the hell up. 82, my ass. Anyway, so every day I used to come home from school at 4:00 and I used to watch this cartoon, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of it.
What was it?
It was these 5 or 6 people. They had a car that transformed into an airplane, and they were led by a guy named Mark. That's all I got.
don't. That sounds very Canadian.
Every day.
Very Canadian, that sounds. I don't remember that. I know my cartoons, too. God, I don't know that one. Somebody in the chat has to know, Prez. Use your chat. Use your chat abilities.
I don't know.
That's your superpower.
There's a guy named
Prez's
Mark.
superpower is using the
flew
chat.
In a plane?
A transformed
it was
car
like
into
this
a plane.
plane. It was a cartoon plane that turned into a ship that turned into a car. And the leader was Mark. That's all I know. He was in the white outfit. He was in the white outfit. They all had different color outfits.
Superheroes? Did they have superhero
powers?
They were
superheroes.
And Mark was the guy's name? Mark?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
I don't know. Sharapan, what the hell's going on with you? Why are you wearing the Padres outfit? Do you even have a favorite team?
Well, I mean, I'm from Pittsburgh originally. I love the Pirates, but baseball-wise, I just root for the sport. I just love the game and, the gear. And we got all the throwback stuff. So, yeah, I mean, this is a throwback Padres jersey and Padres hat. Who likes this brown? Some people see it as ugly. Me and newbies see it as something positive. So, yeah, I mean, I'm wearing it today because the under in the Padres-Mets game has got to be a play. I mean, you got Walker and Darvish pitching, and you got the Mets playing their hardest stretch of the season. They split the games in Dodger Stadium. They're dogs yesterday in San Diego. They win. They've got the second best record in baseball, and they're dogs again today. I mean, it's crazy. Sometimes we used to sit in a risk room going, are you guys paying any attention to what's going on? How do you just automatically make the home team favorite? I don't know. Bad guys are coming on the Mets again today. I can tell you that. I like the under in the game.
G-Force! G-Force! Peanut Gambino, you did it! It was G-Force! Yes!
Never heard of it.
Sorry to interrupt. I didn't even know if you were talking there. I got really excited.
That's okay. That's all right. It's probably a Canadian thing. I don't want any drama.
Hey, Dave, I want to know if Prez can repeat 2 things you just said in the last minute.
No, he wasn't listening. He was trying to get the G-Force. The G-Force. Yeah. You watch that every day?
So he said the Mets were a dog yesterday and they won. How can you make the second best team in baseball a dog? Go ahead, Dave.
He was multitasking, Merrill. See? There's no drama with Prez. It's impressive.
Flex Tuesday, Dave. It's Flex Tuesday. Get in on it.
Oh, my gosh. Look at this. Man, oh, man. You getting ready to
Dave,
play poker?
Some info, dude, because I'm sick as a dog and cannot drive this show today. Who was feeding the Prez edibles as a kid? Smiling faces, writes. That would be my
His
parents.
judo teacher. His judo teacher.
Yeah, my parents, my judo teacher. I was pretty much edibled up from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed.
He was rolling on the mat by himself.
Yeah.
Staring at his face.
Dave, give us some baseball points, man. You've given us one. Give us some more.
Now, I want to ask Dave a baseball question. You talked about in the risk room when you're making lines and stuff, current form. Look, starting pitching still dictates the odds, I think. I mentioned earlier, I don't think offensive momentum with really cold teams like the Angels is factored in enough. A textbook example, how much over the last 2 weeks have they changed the Angels' power rating or whatever they're using? This is a team that was winning the division a month ago.
It's so fast, right? It's 11 games in a row. They're on the East Coast scuffling, not being able to.
Yeah,
right. And 12 now. So yesterday they go to Boston.
Gotcha, yeah.
On an 11-game losing streak, and they're going against Walker, who's been arguably the Red Sox best pitcher, and the Angels got Syndergaard in their favor.
Right.
I just don't understand it. You try to get in front of these streaks and say, oh, this is the game they're going to win. Oh, they're due. If you did that after 6 games, you're stuck 6 units and laying juice with a team that can't hit. The Red Sox got Whitlock pitching today. The Angels haven't listed their starter yet. The Red Sox have to be favored. When this line comes out, if the Red Sox aren't minus 120 or 125, I'll be surprised. No matter who's pitching for the Angels. It's one of those streaks you got to ride out. Merrill, you just bet against the Angels, I think, blindly until they win. When they win, they catch you. All right, you lose that one game. But I like the Red Sox again today. What do you think, Merrill, about Manoah in Toronto and Blue Jays today? The Royals have played themselves. They've lost 14 of 17, and they have now the worst record in baseball. The Reds have actually started playing better. The Reds have been a play-on team, I'd say, in the last 2 weeks, along with the over. But Manoah's a big price today. I think it's okay to lay it. He's a Cy Young candidate. He's arguably right there. You like the Blue Jays at all today?
Yeah, it's funny, Dave. First of all, Whitlock is minus 125 right now at some spots. Boston exactly minus 125.
Okay.
You nailed that one. Angels undecided. And right before you came on, I did the big game breakdown. I used the Blue Jays, and I said exactly what you said, which is great minds think alike. I said the Reds were 3-19, 1-20 at one point, and they still don't have the worst record in baseball because the Royals are worse. So you and I are looking at that one exactly the same way. I think current momentum, even season momentum, is vastly underrated in these odds. Look, minus 230, whatever, take it down to minus 1.5, minus 140. But either way, I'm not playing the worst team in baseball unless I'm getting like plus 400.
Exactly. Like this would be a place where you would have bad guys coming in to take the 1.5 with the Royals because you're getting plus money. And I would look at them and go, man, this is a tough one. Like, I understand taking the 1.5 in plus money with the home team. That's a huge advantage. Total's 9. It's not like the total's 7. So I don't think you should do it in situations like this. When a total's 7 and you're expecting a low-scoring game, you get more value. We're always looking for value in this business, and people, that are new to betting baseball. Taking pluses a lot of times is better than laying minuses, but it's okay sometimes to take the favorite. I wouldn't touch the Royals today with your money.
The last 7 losses, guys, have all been by 3 runs or more over the past couple of weeks. So, you've been poor pretty fast playing that logic, right?
Dave, Sharapan, Steve, Merrill. Guys, real quick, IUD writes, Prez used to take classmates' chocolate milk. That's actually true. Legitimately true.
I'm surprised, Prez. I never pictured you as a bully at all, man. I pictured you as the nicest guy in school. I'm disappointed.
So here's the deal. I swear on my life this is true.
Oh, boy.
So I was a competitive judo fighter from grade 3 to grade 8.
Wow.
And I used to run a protection service for kids who got bullied. I swear to God. Swear to God, dude. My mother was a yoga teacher. All she wanted to do was yoga. She would send me to school with a whole wheat bread with sardines in the middle of it. And my dessert would be a banana. And my drink would be water. So I ran a protection racket where if you gave me either your chocolate bar, your L'Oreal chocolate pudding, remember those chocolate puddings when we were young? Or your chocolate milk, I would protect you from the bully. Now the question is, what chocolate bar was I most after?
But Dave, he was also the bully, so this was a great ring he had going on. He'd protect them from himself. So
give half to the bully. I'd be like, guys, I haven't eaten in 2 days.
He'd pay off the bully. He didn't have to use his judo. He'd give him some of the chocolate bar.
Go beat someone up, would you?
Keep my business alive.
The Charleston Chew. That was the chocolate bar choice.
That would have been a 5th or 6th down the list, a nice plus one, 15 to 1 or 20 to 1 shot.
Shoot, I didn't even remember that one.
It was the biggest. Snickers, all we cared about was the size.
Dave, that would have been in the field bet. That would have been the field bet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you're right. Charleston Chew would have been in the field. That's nice work,
guys. If you're watching this show for the first time ever, it's way better than today. Way better.
Wow. Well, that's because we have to have Dave on Tuesdays.
Yeah, there's Mark. There's my boy Mark.
Nice work.
Dave, what's going on in the NBA, bro?
I've never heard of that in my life.
G-Force.
Never heard of that.
G-Force. Well, tonight, Prez, would be the NHL. All right. I was going to go there next. with you.
It's your show, Dave.
No, I'm just trying to direct the ship. We only got a couple minutes left, and we're going to have a presidential address. I just got to make sure. So, you like Tampa tonight?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
I think Tampa wins tonight to even the series, right? But I mean, then we got a 3-game series with 2 games in Madison Square Garden. Tampa has to win a road game to win this series, but they have to win tonight to avoid going down 3-1. If the Rangers win tonight, they're going to be the representative of the Eastern Conference in the Stanley Cup. Saw another crazy game last night with the Avalanche. My next question back to you, Prez. Is the Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup a done deal? They're not going to play for 12 days. Game 1 of the finals is not until June 18th.
Wow.
Is it done? Can we just put in the futures?
Brother, I have been telling everyone all playoffs that Colorado is the best hockey team ever assembled. Not this year. Ever assembled.
What?
They have lost 2 games in the playoffs, and I see no reason why they can't win in 4 or 5 in the Stanley Cup Finals. They will walk all over the Rangers. And as far as Tampa Bay goes, yeah, no. I'm taking the Avs in 5, and frankly, I think the Rangers and Tampa Bay should just put their all-stars together and try to take on the Colorado Avalanche.
Really?
That's for sure. Guys, real quick, P-Dot, the gentleman who came up with the G-Force, email Wager Talk. They've got some wager bucks waiting for you for free.
Nice work.
On the Prez, because it was driving me crazy for 3 bloody days trying to figure that out. So
I thought he meant the guy that created the G-Force was getting wager bucks. I was like, that guy needs the work. I guarantee you.
Okay.
Never heard of that
Dave,
show.
What are you going to bet tonight? You're going to bet the Lightning or not?
So I've been on the under every game. All right, first game, not so good. Second game, good. Third game, good. Nice sweats, 3-2 finals, under 5.5. I think it goes under again. I think we see another really tight playoff game like I think Tampa wins. I want Tampa to win. I want to see this thing go 6 or 7 games. The only way to do that is for Tampa to win. I would put that pause on the Avalanche just winning this thing easy, even if they play Tampa. I think Vasilevsky's a big deal, and he's a big guy in that net press. I don't think it's that easy. I'm telling you.
We got minus 190 right now, guys. Minus 190 plus 165. Tampa minus 275 plus 230 Rangers are the look-aheads right now.
Well, yeah, they're with Prez. That makes sense. NBA, Prez, games tomorrow. I still think it's going 6 or 7 games. Tomorrow, I think the natural plays that come back on the Celtics, and I think a lot of people will, they can watch the NBA show tomorrow, watch here, Wager Talk Today. Tomorrow, you'll have more NBA stuff. But my first thought on that is to take Golden State in Game 3 and then Boston in Game 4. I think they split the games in Boston. I think we're headed for, a 2-2 situation coming back. And it's crazy to say they're only playing on Wednesday and Saturday this week. The NBA Finals is only playing 2 games in 7 days.
Friday, Dave, Friday. They're actually in Boston, so they're doing Wednesday, Friday, and then they do the 2 days off to go back in between.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Wednesday,
it's Friday
Saturday.
and Monday. There's no Saturday or Sunday game. It's really weird. That's why I know, because I looked the other day. It's because of the travel. Okay. Yeah, it's a 1 day off because they stay in Boston. But yeah, it's stretched out nonetheless. You're right.
Stretch
overall,
it out. So by the time we get back here, we'll have a better feel for the series. I think the game probably goes over. That's exactly what I'm looking at right now. And then if you look at the MVP market, just pick the winner of the series and take their best player, and you actually get a better price than you do on the series. So there's a couple things to look at there, but I've been focused on the hockey and the baseball, boys.
There you
Good
go.
stuff.
I got the message wrong to G-Dot. G-Dot, just post your username in the chat room. Johnny will take care of you. Or email
Wager Talk and leave Prez out of it. What are you doing?
Guys, listen, it's been a tough day. Hey,
Triple
Over at
tasking.
Sports Memo, we got 3 handicappers for $5.
Let's go.
3 handicappers for $5
Which way is
over
the
at
sports
Sports
book?
Memo. Are you talking still, Dave? Because
No.
Which way is the
let me
ticket
see.
counter?
Let's see the bicep.
Let's
Come
go.
Yeah, he does the
I
Hulk
can't do
Hogan,
that.
man. I like
Are you
that.
kidding me? He
Give
does
us the
that.
Hulk Hogan, the lat flex, the
God,
trap
look at
flex.
this
So I
guy.
like that.
Well, you have
Yeah,
nice
yeah, but the
mobility,
airport
Dave. You
anytime.
got your arms behind your shoulders. The Gold Sheets,
Nice
Joe
mobility.
D'Amico, Ross Benjamin, all 3 $5 over at Sports Memo. That's it, man. We got the daily presidential address, and we're calling it a show. Dan? Okay, we got the daily presidential address today. Just to let you know, I am sick. If you watched Wager Talk today, it was not our best performance. At least it wasn't my best, which is probably the reason you should head over to Wager Talk TV and watch the show. I got 2 picks for you guys today, but we're only going to go with one. The rollover yesterday did not happen. The Cleveland Guardians game was canceled. What to bet today? I like the Tampa Bay Lightning in regulation today. But my bet for the rollover that now starts today, the Blue Jays -1.5. I know they've come up throughout the show. There's a reason for that. Take the Blue Jays -1.5. What an incredible show, guys. Steve Merrill, thanks for helping me get through this. I'm going to go nap for the rest of the afternoon. Take us home, bro.
So much to work with there. It was a terrible show, and then he says, "What a great show!" I mean, come on, man. It was a great show, first of all, because every Tuesday we have.
I don't need
every
you
Tuesday
pulling
we have
a
to have.
freaking Teddy on me.
Hey, I got a chocolate bar here. Don't pick on me. I got some chocolate milk here. Don't pick on me. I'll give you some chocolate milk if you leave me alone. Look, it was a great show, Prez, first of all, because we have to have Dave Sharapan on every Tuesday, and we appreciate that. Tokyo Brandon, Tony Mejia, lots of fun, and we'll do it again tomorrow on Wednesday. It'll be just as good. Noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Archive 24/7 on Wager Talk TV. And don't forget MLB First Pitch in 1 hour for some more baseball advice. Best of luck this evening. We'll talk to you again tomorrow on Wednesday. Feel better, Prez.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.